Hey everyone, my name's Brian, that's my brother Adam. We are the Factional Fight Brothers. We are playing Wurm Online tonight. Thank you everyone for joining and watching. How are you doing, Adam?
I'm doing pretty good. How's everybody doing?
Hope everybody's doing good. I'm feeling fine, ready to play. It's Sunday night. I do have to work in the morning. So,
Yep.
what not better to do on a Sunday night than to actually go and play some Wurm and build our first building.
Hey, Bryce Boom, thank you so much for that sub.
Hey, Bryce Boom.
And Brian, for some odd reason, the moment we went live, your mic went echoey on us. Not sure
Wonderful.
why. Yeah, I know.
Something to do with your settings.
Maybe. I don't see anything that's going to change anything on my end, though. And the other thing that I was thinking we should try is switching our Discord to US
Or,
Central.
oh, let's do that.
Let's do that. There we go. I've just been noticing we got much more stable stuff going on from US Central servers. All right, so tonight we have a plan. We have a plan of what we're going to be doing, and it's sort of stemming from the fact that we're trying to figure out what is the best order of things. Like, what do we need to do first? What do we need to do second? And it seems as though right now our struggle is with how we're going to be keeping our animals. Because our animals currently are up in the corner here. I'm going to show you. And this is the second time. This is the second temporary pen that we put our animals in. Oh, hey Bryce Boo, that's your Marlin in game. So yeah, we chatted yesterday.
Hey, yeah.
We do have a Discord that is just for, like, that we use personally. We don't have like a channel Discord really. I know other streamers use Discord as a way to like have their community come join them, but we feel as though we probably wouldn't be the best hosts of that Discord. I don't know. Maybe one day we'll think about it.
So am I still coming through as an echoey?
It's like tinny, you know what I mean?
To everybody? Or just you?
Well, it must be to everybody in the sense
Well,
that
I guess to everybody.
what I hear is what's going to everybody, yeah. It didn't sound like this way at the beginning, but it's not a big deal. It just sounds like it probably sounds the same as me because I'm probably echoey. My room, since we moved down here, I've been echoey. So I think we should just
Alright, let's
go
just
on.
power through, I guess.
Power through.
I don't think we're going to be able to troubleshoot that over there.
Yeah. Like, the only thing I can think of is if it's coming through a different mic.
That wouldn't make any sense. All you did was press the play button, so it would be something to do with your recording software, and not Discord.
I mean, I can't think of what I can do here to change it.
Oh, maybe it is me.
Okay.
There you go.
There you go. There you are.
Yeah, that was weird.
So what was that?
So you hit your record button and then Discord on my side changed its input.
Okay.
That doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense at all. All I know is that the moment I hit record, next thing I know, you're coming through like that.
Great.
Okay.
All right.
So back to the issue at hand, which is this is our second temporary animal pen. We put it up here because we wanted to do some terraforming down near the lake. And this pen now kind of, I don't know, we kind of want to get to the point where we can terraform this area now. So we don't want to make another temporary pen. Instead, what we want to do is come up with the final location for where these animals are going to go and build that first. That way we can get rid of this animal pen and continue on with the deed construction. What do you think?
I always felt like we planned out tons of deeds. We planned out lots of different buildings, different kind of creative buildings. This time around, I'm almost thinking I just want to wing it, in the sense that we want to do something. Let's just do it, and we'll figure it out. I don't want to spend a lot of weeks planning a building. How do you feel about that? Unless you've already planned something like this.
I totally haven't done any planning, and I'm all down for
Have some ideas.
Yeah,
So
I'm down for the
have some
naturalistic
ideas.
way.
I would love to have a pen on the bottom, and then a usable second level.
Wait, what do you mean a pen on the bottom?
So you have your animal pen the way that you want it.
Like the this
lots of
landing that you're
different-
talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then like a usable second level of some kind.
Oh, I see. Like similar to how it was in Factional Fight, where the bottom floor was the stables, but then there was a usable, like
Sure.
second
Maybe
floor.
like a smaller version of that. Yeah.
Okay. I'm totally down for that. Now, in terms of like buildings, I really do feel like Deed Planner is going to have to come into play at some point. But it probably doesn't have to come in until after we do the first floor. You know, like we can build the outer walls, we can get a sense of the space we have and make the outer walls. But when it comes to like trying to plan a second floor and the structure inside, I feel like, at least me, I kind of need a deed planner to go by. I don't know. How do you feel about that?
I was gonna do my building just winging it.
Winging it? Okay.
But this would be more of your building, so.
Yeah, okay.
But before we start, we gotta open up our beers. I am
Right.
really parched. I haven't had one of these in a long time. This is one I think that either you or I, or maybe both of us, have had on the stream before. I do remember liking it by Flying Monkey Craft Brewery.
Okay. It's a flying monkey.
It's the Juicy Ass IPA.
I really like that one. So yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm gonna open that up and get right down to business.
And personally, I'm on a completely new kind of beer kick, and I've had a few of these now on the show. So I still really like my IPAs. I really like ales, but I started really acquiring a taste for stouts and porters, which are darker beers. So I got this one here. I've never tried it before. It's called it's Clifford Brewing Company. It's the name of the brewer, although it's backwards on the screen there. And it's just their porter. So yeah, I'll give it a shot. It says it's a dark and complex, robust porter with flavors of chocolate and coffee, combined with rich roasted malts. Sounds good.
All right, so how is it?
Very good. So yeah, we got like
Yeah, drink 'em if you got them.
yeah.
We have a problem. We want to build this stable.
Yeah.
We don't have any materials to
No,
build
but-
this stable. We're sort of used to just being like, we want to build something. Let's go into our many BSBs / crates and find thousands of materials already waiting for us. Yeah, we left all of that behind.
Yep.
And all we really have is a whole lot of dirt and and rock from digging and mining.
Yeah.
And a little bit of and hopefully enough of the logs.
We
which
do
are
have-
not.
We do have a decent number of logs. We do have a decent amount of dirt. But yeah, aside from that, not much. So my feeling is that this stable is going to be made out of timber walls, mostly, if not all. And we do have.
So you want all timber walls?
Well, I mean, just for the stables. I think that of the wall types, the timber walls I think it's the best fitting. I am planning on dyeing them a certain. I'm not sure exactly what color, maybe a brown or a red or some kind of color to make it look more like a stable. But yeah, we got to get it built first.
If I'm not mistaken, that would mean wooden beams,
Yep.
mixed grass, and clay.
Yep.
That sound right? Something like that?
Sounds about right. So I think that the first little bit of this video, we're just gonna go gather a whole bunch of this stuff. Right now, I'm doing mixed grass.
Now, luckily, we do have some logs from when we first got here and we were chopping. Nothing crazy. It looks like just over 100 logs.
Oh no, we have
Should be enough.
way more than that.
Where are the rest of the logs?
So there is there's a crate in the mine on the crate rack there, and I've been just tossing tons of logs in there. I think it's full, so
Oh, nice.
there might be 300 logs in there.
Sweet. So I'll just use the ones out here then.
Okay.
Which are about 100. That'll give us. Hopefully, it'll give us enough wooden beams.
It'll give us enough for the first floor,
No.
I'm sure.
Yeah, so let's approximate. How many wooden beams are needed per wall? Like 5?
5, yeah, and
And
it's approximately a 5x5 ish area.
that's what you're gonna sort of do?
Ish.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't. Again, it hasn't been put into D planner yet, so I don't have a definitive plan. I kind of have an area cut out, and it's just a matter of the space is about a 5x5. There's a couple decisions that we have to make, and we can talk about those as we go, and do your natural designing method.
Yes.
Oh,
I also got about 100 mixed grass so far, so I think
okay.
clay is going to be sort of the bottleneck here.
Well, we can go down and dig some clay together. I don't think it'll take that long, maybe 20 minutes
Okay,
of
so I'm
digging clay
going
should
to
be enough.
roughly try to create, 50 to 100 wooden beams, something like
Yeah.
that. I hope that that's enough.
I'll keep going with the mixed grass for a little bit. How many mixed grass does it take to build the timber wall?
That feels like the start of a really bad joke. But I'm pretty sure it's 10.
Okay, you're
Is it
right.
10?
It is 10. But what I've just noticed is that it's 20 clay. So that's
So again, I think I think it's the clay that's going to be the
You're
bottleneck
right.
here.
You're right. So it's 5 beams per wall, and
Well, I'm almost thinking 200 mixed grass at least. I mean, I got 100, so that's not too bad of a start.
yeah. So it's looking like the outer walls are going to take about 100 wooden beams.
Okay, yeah. I will.
And we do have some planks for next floor above, if we want to do it with planks. And we do have bricks if we want to make it stone. Are you allowed to make a stone second floor on top of a timber first floor?
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
At least I'm pretty sure I've done that before. Unless there's been some changes that I am not aware of. This is quite a sweet beer to me. I keep saying that, like IPAs, I used to think they're so bitter, but now when I drink this and it says 6.5 alcohol, but I smell it and it smells sweet.
It has, that one in particular is very smooth and it has like a nice flavor to it. I would agree with that.
There it is, like notes of pine, tangerine, and passion fruit.
Passion fruit, yeah.
That's what I'm smelling. Interesting.
What I find amazing is these tastes. Like they're all coming from the malt and the hops and everything. Like they're not adding these flavors. The flavors are coming out of the process of distilling the stuff.
Yeah, very nice. Very nice. All right. So, so it's been a few weeks since we've recorded.
Mm-hmm.
This last week, you were not in town.
Right. I went out of town.
I
for the
was
weekend.
also fairly busy, so that worked out well.
Mm-hmm.
So what exactly has happened in Wurm in the last couple weeks that we have not been able to talk about?
All right.
There was one update.
Right. It wasn't an update. It was a news
post. I
news
feel
post,
like, was there an update on top of that?
Huh. Was there an update? I'm not sure.
I don't remember. But it seems common, or it seems the last few updates, lots of specular mappings and normal mappings and all that good stuff. And for people that don't know, so a normal map is to take a flat textured surface and make it look bumpy, 3D-ish, without actually creating more polygons.
Right.
Whereas a specular map is designed to make things look shiny, that are supposed to be shiny, like metal objects. So things glean off of it. And then there's one more that I don't believe that they're touching. Well, there seems to be more mappings that than this, but there's one called the Parallax Map, which is like an enhanced version of normal mappings.
Okay.
Makes things even look more like 3D without on a flat object.
See, what I know of what parallax means is parallax is that effect that you get where if you have like a close object and a far object and you kind of move from side to side.
Yeah, that's that's because of the phones, the mobile devices, right?
No, actually, it's because of
you can have
It's because of astronomy, is how I know it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that is a feature, I think, on like iPhones and Android and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Right, like the actual
the
word,
effect.
The parallax effect actually comes from when you observe stars that are distant.
Mm-hmm.
You can see sort of if there's two stars that kind of look like they're right on top of each other, but it's due to the fact that one is behind the other. So what happens is that because the Earth goes around in orbit, the Earth is sort of like going from side to side. And so at different times of the year, you can see the position of the two stars sort of like change relative to one another. And that allows you to tell which one's farther and how much farther the other one is compared to the first one.
Well, that's cool.
So that's yeah.
Well,
That's
in the
where
world of
parallax from.
of texture mapping, parallax mapping is like makes you see actual like flat objects as 3D objects without the need to add any more polygons to it. Okay. So an example would be, let's say a worm example, would be if you take a look at like an oven or like a forge, and you look at how they wrapped around that stone texture, and if you look at it, it looks kind of 2D. Like because it's just like a 2D texture map of stone. It's just a picture. So what a parallax mapping would do is it would have all these calculations in it that tells the system which part of the fireplace would be a good example too. Which part of the stone should look more jutted out than other parts, I guess. Like you actually just tell it based on some mathematical formula or whatever that it does. And to us, it looks 3D. I mean, take a look at some pictures. You can look up lots of stuff on just Google, just image parallel mappings, and you kind of see like a flat object, but you look at it and it looks 3D.
But in the end, Wurm is not going to be using parallax mapping, it appears.
One day in the future. I don't know why I started talking about that, but we're starting to get normal mappings. We're starting to get specular mappings.
Yeah.
So I think that was the thing I took away from this
News report.
this news post was that they seem dedicated to continue the work of adding more and more of the textures in this game to have these normal and specular maps. And this week in particular, or I guess it's been a few weeks in particular, they were doing armor.
Right.
Which is really cool because I have some armor. I don't remember if they actually put it into the game yet or if they just mentioned that they're working on it. There's a lot of armor pieces, so I'm wondering how long that's going to take before it's done, or if it is done, or what they should be doing next. If you had to choose, what do you feel they should do next?
In terms of like adding normal maps?
Adding maps.
Huh.
Yeah.
What is left?
Bugged you the most?
What's left? I mean,
Oh,
they've done it to all the
items.
They've done it to all the like housing, all the trees, all the ground. They're now going to do it to all your armor that you wear.
Did they do it to the fences yet?
I'm not
Fences
sure.
/ bridges, and would that be something that you'd actually want?
Oh yeah, totally.
Or how about any of the wooden items?
I mean, all of the structures that we can build in this game, they should add the normal maps to. For sure. I know they've added it to a lot of the tools, like the metal tools and metal weapons and your shield and all that stuff. So if you drop your hammer onto the ground, like it'll have all the normal mapping and specular mapping. I'm pretty sure like the forges are good and done. It's getting to like, it seems like they're just systematically going through all the things and just getting them done. So I think that's great. It has made the game look so much better, in my opinion.
And they're seems like they're on a tear, and it seems to be Saruman and Samul together. Saruman is the artist for Wurm, and Samul is more of like the, I don't know what you call it. He was doing all of the stuff for the client engine.
Right. He's been said to be a wizard at coding. He's a coding wizard.
So we've got a guy who's said to be a wizard and a guy that has a name of a wizard. So I guess together that somehow makes the dream team for specular and normal mappings.
That makes sense.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's good. That's good that they're getting through it. Mm-hmm. I wonder if bridges need it.
They probably, if they haven't been addressed, I definitely would say that bridges need to get it at some point.
It would be nice, like, before the next bridge that we ever create, because we're in the middle of nowhere. I don't see any bridges really ever. Mm-hmm. So like the next time we build a bridge and we look at it and we will think, wow, this is so cool. Maybe they already did bridges. I feel like they might have.
They might have. Now I'm having this issue right now where I can't figure out what the issue is. But every so often, my sickle is not activated anymore.
You're pressing a button.
I'm pressing a button that is deactivating my sickle. I just can't figure out what it is.
Or you're pressing a button that's activating another thing.
Right. I should double check what is activated the next time it happens.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm pretty close to being done with mixed grass. I'm pretty sure I have more than enough with you said you had 100 or so.
Yeah.
I think we should head down and get some clay.
All right. I'm almost at the 100 wooden beam mark. Well, not really almost, but I'm getting there.
Okay. So how about how many more?
I'm at 78.
And 100 wooden beams would allow you to build how many walls? 20?
20.
Okay, we might need more than that. So,
Want me to
okay.
build 120?
I see what
beams?
I'm doing. I see why.
What are you doing?
I'm
'Cause
combining the mixed grass. Of course I am.
That would obviously do it, yeah. I think we need more beer.
Yep. Yep, I'm selecting the grass. It's just it didn't register because I have a hotkey to activate. So I'll go over to the mixed grass. I'll hit my activate hotkey. I'll combine. And then I don't even think about the fact that it deactivated my sickle.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's funny.
Oh, Bryce Boom, you have a huge thunderstorm. That sucks. Yeah, I hate that threat of the looming thunderstorm coming to take your power away.
Gotta get a backup generator.
Yeah. I'm really excited about the they're gonna add the rarity glow to your armor now when you're wearing it.
Ooh.
Like personally, I didn't even know that was a thing that they didn't add yet. But that was another thing they mentioned that was going to be added. So this breastplate that I made while we were here, this rare breastplate, I'm going to put it on and it's going to be all shiny once they add that thing. You know,
That'd be nice.
I also saw something in an update. I can't remember if it was like a few weeks ago, but it made me think that it was something that they were addressing you know how in the character window you can see yourself, but it's like you're all dark? It's like the lighting is all messed up. So I thought I saw something where it said they were going to fix that. But turns out it's not fixed. It's still all dark.
I also have to say that I logged in one day and found that I had two things in my mail. And I remember taking a picture of the person that sent me these items. So I ended up finding two items, which were two huge axes. That's
oh yeah.
I took a picture
You were
of
mentioning this,
the mail.
but where did you find this? It was mailed to you?
It was just mailed to me. So someone mailed it to me. I'm sorry, I don't remember your name. I was somewhat organized before and had taken a screenshot of your name.
Hey Lionx, how's it going? So
Anyway,
you're saying
so-
they fixed the lighting in the character screen for you. Huh.
it did not fix for me.
Not fixed for me either. I know like there's some times where like if I'm in the light, let me see if I can get it to go. If I turn around and if I put my character in the light and I turn around some way, that it just pops and lights up. Huh, but it's not doing it now.
That sucks.
Anyway. Hopefully they fix
Anyway,
it.
I haven't told you, Adam, yet.
Okay.
So he sent us 2 huge axes.
Right.
Both around 70 quality.
Nice.
And they all have enchants on them. So the enchants are, so here's the one for you.
Okay. Where are you?
Nimbleness has been cast on at 73.
Nice.
Circle of Cunning has been cast on at 71.
Okay.
Mind Stealer has been cast on at 73. And Life Transfer has been cast on at 42.
Ooh, so it's like a fully enchanted huge axe. That's awesome.
Is that a fully enchanted one?
Well, I mean, it's fully enchanted in the sense that it has all 4 possible slots of enchants.
Nice. So thank you so much for sending that to us. We are definitely going to use it.
Did you figure
I've
out
been
the
using
name?
it ever since. I feel like I have it somewhere.
You know, I have. What kind of skill do I have in huge axe? Right, 8. So yeah, my huge axe could use a little bit of working on, I think.
Well, I'm not sure if it's the same, but the person that made the huge axe is something like Riegsman.
Riegsman? That name rings a bell for some reason.
I don't know if that's the same person that sent it to us.
Okay.
But thank you anyway. I'm sorry I lost the picture. Must be somewhere.
Okay. Well, I am ready for heading out to getting. Oh, you're already digging clay. Oh no, that's not you.
That's not me.
Malokai. That's Malokai. And we got a whole
Go
bunch of people
stand
in.
next to Malachi.
Yeah.
Okay.
Marlin is in local. That's you, Bryce Boom, right? Okay. So here we go. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab a crate of dirt because the new mechanics for clay digging is that every approximately 50 actions it drops the dirt or drops the slope.
Oh, really?
Oh, Malachi, you're Lionix. And Bryce, yeah, okay. So we got a bunch of you guys here.
No, cool. Alright, so I've got about, I'm gonna make
Oh boy, we're gonna have to fix
a
this.
couple more here.
Definitely have to spend some time fixing the landscaping around the lake so we can actually like ride our carts around. Getting all stuck here.
We will. Eventually we will.
Oh brother.
I mean, stuff that we've been doing the last few weeks. Lots of digging. I've been doing a lot of digging.
Yep.
Trying to reduce the amount of slope in our deed.
Me too. I am getting all messed up here. Okay.
So I've got 120 beams. I'm
Okay,
hoping that
okay.
that's enough.
That should be enough for the first floor anyway. We'll have to spend some time more on beams. Do you know where the clay
Okay,
is?
so I will. Yeah, I'll bring my cart. Oh, what is this? Boat parts. Okay.
Ah. Alright.
Stackable items don't stack in backpacks. I believe the only backpack where stackable items don't stack are the ones that you have, is the backpack that you have on your back. I don't know why they did that.
Oh, do you mean like... So if I take a backpack and I put it on my backpack slot and then open it, and then I put inside of that something that's stackable. Let me see. Do I have anything that's stackable? So like this scorpion cochineal. Right.
Yeah. It's always been that way.
That is kind of messed up.
Nice. Malachi. 210 dug for us. Nice.
Oh, sweet.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. That will
We'll
be
see
very
what
helpful.
we can do. Yeah, so we need,
About
let's say,
triple that, I'd say.
triple the amount that... Yeah, we would need about 600, I would say.
Yeah.
Let's see what we can do. I've got my dig to the ground button,
Yep.
and we'll just spam this clay. I've been thinking that I know that you want to create your animal pen. I want to create a different animal pen specifically for. I've never done this before,
Okay.
but to create leather, so like a cow pen of some kind,
Okay.
and it would just be so it's easier. I would have the way that I'm thinking is that I would have the leather or the cows on the bottom level, and then the second level would be where I would actually do my leather working.
Oh, okay. So a similar sort of structure where so it's like a building that's the pen as opposed to just a fenced off area.
That's right.
Okay. You know, I have been thinking about the fact that we kind of want a bunch of animals. Like, we want to be breeding, I think, hell horses. Am I right? Like, do we want to be breeding hell horses?
That would be nice.
But we also want to be breeding horses as well.
Probably.
Okay. And then we kind of also want to have sheep
Yeah.
for wool and then cows for leather and milk. That's a lot of animals that we're going to be needing. And, you know, the amount of animals that we would be allowed to have on our deed are not that many, right? Like, there really aren't that many. Like, if I go to let me just go to our info, our settlement info. Here we go.
Oh, and like Buddha said, we also have to breed tortoises.
Right. Hey,
Because
Buddha.
I've never had... Is there a tortoise shield?
There is a tortoise shield.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever had one of those before.
Okay, so the tile per creature ratio needs to be 15 or more. And I think that means you need 15 tiles per creature
Oh.
or more. Okay, once you get to less than that, creatures start getting diseased and dying and all sorts of stuff. Now, we have a 23 by 22 deed, which is the smallest deed that you can have where the monthly upkeep is still 1 silver, like, around. How many tiles is that? Let's figure this out.
I'll let you decide how many tiles that is.
23 by 22 is 506 tiles. Okay. Whew. That freaked me
Thank
right
you,
out.
Marlon.
Okay, and we divide that by 15. So we are currently allowed to have 33 animals on the deed.
That's not that many.
Is not enough. Not enough considering there's 4 different types of animals we want to have on there, which is only like 7 of each. That's not enough.
Well,
Like 8 of each maybe.
yeah, that's not enough.
Yeah. So in order to overcome that, I'm really feeling like we need to expand our deed in terms of like size.
But, which I guess we could go back a little bit.
Okay, yeah, totally. Like, we could also move it forward just a little bit too, like, so we can capture the coast. We don't have it all the way to the coast.
I guess so.
And there's also the main highway behind our deed, like way back in the forest. It's the main highway, which we're not even close to. So we could actually expand to closer to the highway.
That'd be nice.
I mean, at some point we'll want to connect. Oh, did we get 100 here? Yeah, we want to connect the highway system so we have the... What do you call it? The highway... What's that? Wagoneer.
The highway system?
The Wagoneer, that's what I'm thinking.
Oh, the Wagoner?
Yeah, the Wagoner. Yeah, that's it.
Always nice to have.
You know, with tortoises, I feel like I rarely ever get to see one. Until we went on to Delhi. Remember we were over on Delhi and we saw a whole bunch of tortoises?
If I could get one, can you ride them? I feel like I just want to ride one for a little while.
Right.
And to ride them, would I need to tame them? Because then I would need to train my taming.
Right.
Which I do plan on doing.
And if we do plan on increasing our taming, it would be nice if it was like a change to the way that the taming system works and the we always talk about like what is the next big thing that we would want to see. And I think that currently right now, the next thing that I want to see come to this game is an overhaul of the entire animal system. Like everything related to animals.
Entire animal system?
Everything.
That's a big system.
Like a big...
Everything.
Overhaul of the entire system.
All right, but what first?
I mean, animal husbandry, I feel, needs to be reworked a little bit. Because the current state of animal husbandry is that, like, you kind of optimally want to have about a 60 skill or something like that. And you don't want to go higher. Gotta do the hat all brawl first. Right? Like, no other skill in this game, like, has you go to, like, a certain value and you don't want to go higher than that. Right? Every other skill you want to get to the highest you possibly can. I think that once you get to about 60 in animal husbandry, any higher than that makes it way harder to do any animal breeding, especially if you're trying to go for certain traits.
Okay, so let's say they make it more appealing to get to 70, to get to 80, to get to 90. Is that enough? Are you now happy?
No. I would love to see more traits. Like more traits added to the whole animal system. Like traits...
You want more variety.
Yeah, but also traits that make sense for other animals other than horses. Like I feel like all the traits currently are geared towards horse traits. I'm never happy, yeah.
But, okay, so let's take a look. Let's say they add lots of more traits. So let's say we got 30, 40 traits. Random, not random, but different kind of traits that do different things to animals. And that's all they do. They just add the traits. Are you now happy?
Well, I mean, as you're...
So, like, you breed an animal, and the animal gets a random set of traits. Like it is now.
Well, I feel like there's got to be some way of controlling, right? Like, as your skill goes up, you should have some kind of way of trying to obtain the traits that you want. You know, of course, there's going to be some, randomness to it, but, like, I feel like your skill in animal husbandry should apply to sort of, making it easier.
They do what it did before, which is certain traits can only be put onto an animal at a specific skill level.
Okay. I don't know actually if that's true.
They could make that true.
Well, they could make it true. Currently,
Let's say, or let's say that you're allowed to kind of guide which traits will be on the animal.
Yeah, I would agree to that. Maybe not with a 100% success rate.
All right, so that they add more traits, they add a system that allows you to guide which traits will be on which animals, so you can have sort of like the kind of animals that you want. And they make it so it's more favorable to get a higher skill level. Now,
Now
are
I'm
you
happy
with the system?
No. Well, I haven't even talked about the whole taming system. They've got to do something about the taming system. So maybe
Okay,
like
but the
selecting two
breeding
creatures with
system
those
is
kinds of
fine.
traits, you want to breed them together. Yes. But okay, here's the thing. Let's suppose that we're starting from scratch. Let's just say. And I already
This is
have
just theoretical.
theoretical.
It's not what we have.
Or starting out brand new, like a brand new character, or let's say a fresh new server is started, or something to that effect. Like we don't have access to currently already like 5-speed horses, let's say, and so you go out and you get some couple blank horses, or maybe some randomly traded horses that you got somehow. And you go to breed them together with a skill of, let's see, hypothetically speaking, your skill is 26.01.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I got you. In the hypothetical.
Right. And so what ends up happening is that I'll get a horse that has somewhere between 2 and 3 traits. And those traits are like totally like up in the air. Like it could have been something that one of the animals that I bred had traits. But let's say each of those animals had like a couple traits already to begin with. Then it randomly chooses, right? Like there's like no control on my part other than whatever was on the horses. And I suppose that kind of makes sense like in real life. Like, you breed 2 animals together and whatever happens. Which is fine. I suppose, like I'm not even sure what it is that I'm unhappy about.
I'm not either, but I'm very glad we're not in that situation.
But for sure, what ends up happening if you have, let's say, 70 animal husbandry, and you're trying to breed like the 5 breed traits plus maybe one other beneficial trait, is that you always get a 7th trait, and it's a completely random one. So if I have all 6 traded horses and I have 70 animal husbandry, and I breed those 2 6-traded horses together, they could have exactly the same traits. You always get a 7th trait, and that 7th trait is like a purely whatever, like random trait. Could be that they have different sized legs. Could be any of the negative traits. It could be any of the, So like,
what about
from my
some way to train the creature to gain that base trait that you want?
That's an interesting idea. Yeah, that's definitely an
I
interesting
think
idea.
that's a yes.
And maybe that's like a part of animal taming. That could be part of the overhaul of animal taming.
That'd be interesting.
Right? So you tame an animal so that it adopts one of the traits.
For animal taming, which is something that I definitely want to focus on, I would love to have the ability to tame the animal so that it's mine forever.
Okay.
I can give it a name.
Forever.
I can... for its life, right? We know that the animal's going to die eventually. and that's okay. But just the journey of me and that animal going from, hostile to like my best friend.
Okay.
Yeah, and like the animal could end up dying from a troll. Probably, that's probably what would happen. But I don't know, just the idea of somehow making a system that gives me that journey with that creature, that connection with that creature, and then when it actually passes on, whether naturally or via troll slaying accident, then I would actually mourn for that creature.
Right. Yeah.
So what system could that be? I don't know.
I think we're good on clay. I think.
Are we? Should I stop?
Thanks to Malachi here, Lionx. That was very helpful. Thank you very much. Must have cut our clay digging time in half for sure.
Nice.
You know, I've had that experience with a horse that I've owned. That when it passed, it was very sad.
So what about that horse gave you that sort of experience?
So I suppose it was that, it was one of my very first 5-speed horses. And, I had used it as my riding horse for, it was months probably. Before it accidentally got killed by something. And it left me stranded out in the middle of nowhere. I don't know if you remember that.
I don't really remember that. Being able to put hats on your pets, I would love that so much. Just the idea of putting some kind of clothing on your pet denotes that that's yours, while not, and this is specifically for pets that you can ride, does not impact the speed of the animal. Like some sort of regular clothing that wouldn't impact it. I mean, that's what stops me from putting anything on.
Right, the barding.
Any kind of barding on any of my horses.
I know.
That I want it to look cool, but I want to be able to get to places faster.
Right. I agree with that. I love the look of the barding, and I would totally use it if it didn't slow the speed down.
Yeah, and good evening, Hackett.
Hey, Hackett.
Let me think. I have the wooden beams. I also have 100 mixed grass.
Okay.
And I believe you have the rest. Is that true?
I do. I'm just organizing the stuff into, what do you call it? Little clumps of 40.
Okay.
And I'm just combining the mixed grass into clumps of
So,
whatever.
I mean, if we were going to talk about this kind of animal pen, what are your goals for it? How many animals would you want to be able to be inside of it at a time?
So for sure, we need 2x1 pens. And it would be literally however many 2x1 pens I could get inside the area that we were going to make. Plus, at least a little aisleway to walk through. In my mind, I'm imagining, like those stables that you see where, like, they're horse stables, where you'll have like an open door, so maybe like an archway, and then that leads through the entire barn-like stables, and then, on either side there's stalls. That's what I'm picturing. Okay, hold on.
Oh, you made it to release, and now you're a neighbor. Which side are you on, Hackett?
Whoops, what did I do there?
In the village of Whataburger.
Nice.
East. So that, if I'm not mistaken, is behind our deed. Away from the water. On Bryce, you're down the road, just out of local.
I know that directly east of us, Nefarios and Warjack, who are brothers, had set up on the other side of the road there, just to the east of us. Okay. Oh, and Bryce Boom, you're down the road, just out of local. Okay. We'll have to do some exploring at some point once we have, once we've set up here. It's taking us a while, I know, but slow and steady wins the race, I guess.
That's what fun is.
Yep. We like taking.
So how many
time,
animals? So. 2 by 1. So each pen can have about 2. I'm guessing. How many animals are you thinking?
Right. So the way I had said it, I kind of had a plan where I played down a building, and it gave me 7 2x1 pens. Now, I also thought of how to make it bigger, but it would require a little bit of expanding the flat area here. I also kind of want to have a space around the building so that, what am I trying to say? A space around the building that's flat, so you can walk around.
I see. Oh yeah, that's a good question. Everybody that came here, did you guys have items that you shed before coming here, or did you not have any items to begin with that you didn't need to shed, or did you bring all of the stuff that you had? And what was that stuff? Wait, are you wanting to raise this corner?
Which corner? Oh, no. I actually dropped that on purpose.
Oh.
That corner. Now, I kind of dropped it on purpose so that
here
to kind of make the land. I wasn't exactly sure whether or not we wanted to keep this pathway down here.
Well, it is on deed, but
it is on deed. This is the last tile on our deed.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. And if we do want to keep that, then I was kind of thinking this would be a nice little pathway up to the landing. This one right here. Let me just chop this tree down.
Hackett was a fresh spawn. That's a good way to put it. It's a naked fresh spawn. And Bryce Boom, you started mostly nil. Swapped into your old newbie gear. Yeah. That'll pretty much do it. Bring an alt from Indy, that's going to be a crazy journey. To turn into a priest. That's cool. So let's see. So are you thinking that this is the size?
This was the original plan. So I was trying to figure out if I can make this bigger somehow. Or not. If not, so the way that it would be planned out was this right here would be like
an
an
exit
entrance, the
or
entrance.
entrance.
And then to the right would be the 2x1 pens, like just lined up. 2x1
Just
pens.
all the way down.
Yeah. And then on the left
Okay.
here, I could put a couple more 2x1 pens just sideways. And that might be like sheep pens or something.
1, 2.
Now,
I see.
alternatively, we could sort of flatten out just one more tile here and expand the building one more this way so that these become 2x1 pens going the other way.
I see.
And
It wouldn't be too bad. You would still have one more tile on deed.
Right. Right, one more tile to the... Yeah, exactly. Now, we can't expand that way anymore because we're up against a perimeter that way. To our south.
Which is fine.
Yeah. So, that's the extent of our deed is one... Like, this tile that I'm standing on is the last tile of our deed. I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's in the village, and this one's in the perimeter, yeah. And that would be it. I mean, we could also include this tile here. It could just be a big square.
I mean, if you wanted, instead of going that way, why don't you just expand this way? One more.
Yeah, and we can dig the hill down.
Then you could take the hill down if you want a flat path there, which I was planning on doing anyway.
Okay.
And then you have your 2x1s.
Okay.
Now the question is, do you need that many 2x1s?
Well,
1,
it really depends
2,
on what we're...
3, 4, 5.
Here's the
6,
thing. When I was breeding horses...
7, 8, 9, 10. So you'd have 10.
Yeah, I've had it set up where I've had 10 pens, 10 pairs of horses, and that seemed kind of like a little bit too much. So when we moved over to Factional Fight Village, I used 7 2x1 pens, and that felt
How'd that feel?
decent. Like that felt like that it works. Like 7 pens works for, but that was just for horses.
7 pens, that was just for horses. Okay.
Just for horses. Right?
So like a couple more for something else.
Now, the cow pen, I feel, will be totally different because with cows, it doesn't matter whether or not you interbreed them, or what's the word? Inbreed them.
Right.
Right? Because the traits don't matter for horses, not for horses, for cows. And the same thing goes for sheep. So for sheep and cows, I kind of like having them just like randomly.
Okay. So for door, what kind of door would you like?
What's the word? The archway?
Archway.
The
Just a
archway.
regular one?
Yeah. And see, I'm thinking like the archway is going to come through, it's going to be a path, and I kind of want it to come out the other end.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then once we're out here, then we have to figure out where you're going to go from there, like how that connects to the rest of everything.
For sure. That'll be fun
Yeah.
to design that later.
Let's get this way.
All right, let's do the archways. And the rest of them, what would you like? Well, you might want to complete your structure.
Right. Finalize. Wait, how do I do that?
And add me to it would be great.
I have the option of... I have the option of destroying it, but I don't have the option of finalizing it.
It's odd.
Is there a
Can you go
problem?
inside of it?
Oh wait, I need to activate a hammer is probably why. Finalize building plan. And then
Mhm.
permissions. Okay, you should now be on it.
We're doing timber arch.
Now I'm gonna need some... Yeah, I kind of want some windows at some point.
Okay.
Somewhere. I'm not sure where, but... You have the wooden beams. There we go.
Yeah, they're all here.
Let me grab 10 of those. So I guess next to the arch, I'm going to put windows.
So windows on both sides. I see.
Can I use a hammer for this? I can use a hammer for this, right? Yeah.
What's your hammer like?
64 quality. Okay, so there's a bunch of options. Like there's a timber frame balcony, timber frame jetty, timber framed window. Okay, I kind of can picture them. The balcony's the one that's like open. I think I'll just put a window.
Yeah.
But there's no wide window for timber frames, right?
I guess there's not.
Now, what I was just saying made me think of an idea, or at least just a connection to what we were talking about with animals before. So how I was mentioning with cows and with sheep, it doesn't matter whether you inbreed them. Right? Like you can just take the baby and mate it with the mother or the father or whatever, and no problem. It just as good. I feel like the overhaul of the system needs to sort of address that issue. You know what I mean?
In what way?
I don't know in what way, but I feel as though like what they could do is make it so that traits for these animals matter. Because currently I could have a cow that has all bad traits and it's just as good. For the purpose of leather,
like something as simple as, oh, this cow will now provide more milk.
Yeah.
Or be able to be milkable in a short amount of time, or something like that.
Or the quality of the leather is better.
The quality of the leather.
Or yields more leather. Or has a better chance to pass on its good traits to its offspring. Or whatever.
Right.
Like, make it so that bad traits are undesirable in all animals that you would want to breed. And I guess the same would go for chickens and whatever other farm animals that people use to gather resources.
That makes sense. I think eventually, so if they had enough traits where they could do that, would that be enough for you? The way that the system is right now is fine, but you're saying there's just not enough traits to care.
Right. I mean, that's one thing that definitely needs to be addressed, in my opinion. I couldn't say where I would end and say I am happy with this. Like, I haven't really thought out an entire system yet. Nor would I probably. Hold on. Can you add drop permissions? Digging this row flat on the north side of house. Okay. Oh, okay. Yes. Add drop permissions. I do have a Malachi. Let me see here. Drop. Okay, see if that worked. This is a good question. Do we want to join an alliance with the people that are starting this whole experience?
Like the start over fresh experience?
Yeah. So Hackett, Bryce Boom, which is Wait, I already forgot. Bryce Boom is Linux. No.
No,
That's not
Malachi.
Right, Bryce Boom is Malachi. Right. And then, Neltharios and Warjack. Yeah, there's so many people in local that I keep getting confused with all the alts especially. Wait, but Malachi and Linux are just... I'm confused.
Okay, Malachi and Linux, yeah. Yes. So...
Yes, there we go. Okay, I was right.
Question really is...
Make it an alone alliance.
Would there be a benefit to this alliance?
It would just be for social, aspects. Really, that's all alliances are, right? Like they're just so that you have a chat that you can talk to people and see that they're on, and they'll all be in our local because they're all
Could
like
there be
thing.
more of a reason for the alliance?
Such as
something beneficial to the game.
Oh, like could they add something to the alliance system? You mean?
Yes. Well, this would be a perfect opportunity.
What would make this the perfect opportunity?
This would have been the perfect opportunity for, let's say, for us to explore that if it was in the game. Basically there's two things that they could do. Right? The first, and I would agree, would require a type of hat needing to be created for the alliance. That would be awesome, Fuda.
What is this with you and hats? There must be something related to hats coming.
Listen, I imagine flowy hats that blow in the wind. That's just
that
me.
attach to your neck and hang down your back.
That's right. As well. And I'm just so that I'm not building the wrong thing. Timber framed window, is that what we're doing?
Yeah, let's do windows to the sides of the door.
Okay.
And then we'll do a wall next. Actually, you know what? On your side, do a window again. Yeah, do the next 3 segments with windows.
Okay.
And then wall.
So I mean hair. Sure.
What were we talking about now? I completely got distracted by hats.
We dye our hair. I was thinking more like, alliance capes.
That's right. Alliance.
Yeah, so the alliance.
Hey, Du Jensen.
So imagine, you know how we were saying for you in particular that you want a breeding system where you feel an attachment. I guess this was me. I want to feel an attachment to my animals so that there was a journey that we went on to become friends. And I want to feel sad when that animal passes away via a troll accident, which we've established.
Right.
Now, I want to feel that same thing to the Alliance. How do you make the journey of the Alliance feel like this is a start of something special? Right? I want in a year's time to say, remember when our Alliance was just like this? And now look at it. Now it's like this. Now we've unlocked all of these cool things that we can do.
So some way to make the Alliance like our own.
Yes.
You know, where we can work towards
something.
Like, yeah. I mean, like, I know that Kilroth, who is the leader of our Alliance, who's the leader of our Alliance over on Xanadu, he's been asking for, like, Alliance tabards and wagons and tents and stuff. You know, Alliance paraphernalia.
I mean, What could it possibly be? I don't know. Something beneficial, something where you would have choices. Your alliance would have to make some choices that you would have to not. That you would have to make a choice. Listen. This is not the same as the village progressions. This is something completely different.
Yeah, it's
This is
the
an
alliance
alliance
progressive system.
the alliance progression, exactly, right? And not using the word village in this conversation. We need. Anyway, yes, it would be great. It would be great to feel like if we were to create something right now, we were to create an alliance system right now that we would feel like the start of something special. I want to envision in my mind the day that I create this alliance. What can we accomplish? What are our goals? What are the things that we want to do with this alliance? What I don't want is to say something like, oh yeah, we're doing it so that we can be more social.
I mean, that is part of what needs to be there, for sure. Like, it's to hook up with other people and play the game together. But
Right.
it almost feels like having the alliance system doesn't really add to the experience of the game, aside from the extra window that you have here to allow you to talk to alliance mates.
Anyway.
Yeah.
And by the way, we really need a village progression system. Let me just get that out of the way.
Right.
But in saying that, how is our...
This is going a lot slower with these tools than I was expecting.
I was just thinking the same thing.
I'm like, how are we still on like the second wall?
How do people make these giant buildings that I guess we just spend more time.
Yep, we're gonna have to work on our tools, that's for sure. I'm like, I'm running out of stamina after the queuing up my 6 actions.
Almost feel like, I don't know if this is true.
Being near an alliance member gives you a buff of some kind.
The more alliance members, the better.
See, I would be all for that. I know that I've suggested more buffs, and I do understand the argument for not including more buffs. It's the way that buffs work is that most of the time they're what's the word? They like multiply with one another, right?
So like this game's all about building stuff, right?
It is.
So just give us cooler alliance stuff to build.
Stuff, just yeah. Oh, okay, stuff to build.
Okay,
I like the stuff to build one.
first we would need the ability to create items together.
Okay, like this
We
house
need
that we're building
two-
together.
2 people, yeah, but requiring 2 people to create or more.
You're gonna get some lashback
So you either
from the.
have to create alts, because people create alts already, but the idea that it takes a village to make this should be okay for people. It takes a village to make this. It takes an alliance to make that.
Right.
And then that alliance or that village would have to unlock that item, and then they would be able to build it. Like a single player should not be able to build everything.
Right,
It just
like-
doesn't make sense.
It kind of it was tested out with bridges in the sense that they made it so you need 2 people to start a bridge, And I feel like that's gone over okay. Like, people were okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, special items. That's all.
All right. So
And you know what? It would be awesome if there was an entire village of vaults. That'd be kind of cool.
Entire village
At
of
least,
vaults. I'm
at
sure
least it
there's...
gave another reason for that person with an entire village of vaults a reason to have it. You know? So they'll play longer.
Right. People just use alts, but then they also use that as an argument for, you know, it's like if you add a system in which you need, let's say, 3 people to do something, then people are going to complain that they have to pay for 3 alts in order to just access this feature of the game.
It's not a feature. It's like part of the village system. We're not complaining that we don't have, you know, the ability to do PvP stuff on a PvE server.
It's true.
Like, we're not sitting here going, where's our, game to allow us to get those statues?
But if you give a benefit for being in a
accept.
village, then people are going to say, well, that system is not tailored towards the person who wants to play on their own. You know,
Sure.
that they won't be able to get the benefits.
They could get the benefits of a village system. It would just take them longer.
Yeah.
I think that's everything in Wurm.
Or more money.
Yep, that's like you're just talking Wurm stuff anyway.
Okay.
Don't let that dissuade people from creating a village system.
Zabuda, you're saying if you've learned anything in the past few months, it's that if there's a thing that gives you stuff, people feel the need to do that thing no matter what. If it gives bonuses and is locked behind a thing like that, a bunch will get mad. Yeah, I see that happening too. Yeah.
Don't let it stop anybody from creating a feature set that benefits
Right.
villages, because that's what we need.
Have you been keeping up to date with this journal system debacle?
No,
No.
I haven't.
So there's a couple.
Should I be?
Well, if you ever plan on trying to be a completionist in this game, you should know that in order to complete some of the journal entries, you'll have to do some crazy, insane things. Like, for example, one of the priest journal entries is casting a right spell. Now, this has been
Okay.
changed recently, but it was originally set out that in order to get that journal entry, like that thing checked off, you need to cast the right spell. So I don't know if you know how often or how those work exactly, but the idea is that those right spells can only be cast once every few months. I guess it depends on... There's like a whole mechanic where there's like a pool of... I don't even know what to call it. It's like every time that a person prays, it fills the little like pool up, and eventually when it gets to the top, then the server can cast that right spell. And only one priest on the entire server can cast it at a time, and then you have to wait like a couple months before you can cast it again.
Mm-hmm.
So
that does sound like Wurm.
So if you think about it, if let's say there's 40 people on the server and they all want that thing, that journal entry,
Yes.
who gets to cast the next one? Right? And how many, like, let's say
that has the most time.
And let's say everybody is perfectly reasonable, so they all make a queue, they make a lineup. What if you're the 40th person on that lineup? How long until you get to cast it? Right? So
that would take a while.
they changed it recently in an update so that you don't only have to be the caster. You could be one of the priests who links up with the main caster, and you'll get the achievement. Which I think was reasonable because, you can get like a bunch of priests together and get them all that journal entry. Right, and piles of praying.
We're talking
notes, yeah.
priests, like a niche of a niche.
Right, it is a niche
what
of a
priests
niche.
are, right? So the people that are doing that already are those kind of players.
True.
Now, like a village system, it is not as out there. It's not an optional thing to do. Everyone would be doing it anyway.
So yeah, now that you can have the links get credit for it, that definitely makes it feasible. 4 rights every few months per is it 4 rights every few months? Oh yeah, I guess because it's the different priests. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I think that now it made it more feasible for sure. But then there's the 70 prayer of achievement. You need to get 70 prayer, which is an outrage.
Really
That's like an outrageous number, 70. Prayer is one of those skills that go up so slow, and the action is a 30-second action or 25-second action, depending on what your skill is. And
should it have started at a lower number, or does it?
See, the thing is that prayer is one of those skills that doesn't really give you any benefit to getting it up. Or I'm not sure what the benefit is. Maybe I just don't know what it is. Maybe there is a benefit that people might want to get their prayer up, but at least as far as I know, there's not really a benefit to getting it up. And then they make the achievement, the journal entry, be that you have to get it up to 70. Hey, Amy, how's it going?
It's the first time that you've ever seen us live. Wow. Yeah, I guess that would deter, especially if you're from Finland and we are always doing it at our night.
And you have been a long-time watcher of our show, I know. Yeah.
And Hackett, you're fishing in our pond? That's nice. Catching any fish?
See,
Are there any fish in this pond?
That's a question I have is if you make a man-made pond, what kind of fish do you catch in that? Yeah, so the personal goals has some insane tasks. I haven't actually looked at the personal goals for a little while now. Let's take a look at them. Because I know there was that also another debacle that happened where I don't know if you remember, but when you first opened the journal entry, the journals, some of them were completed because you had completed before the journal entry system came into being. Right? But then there were some that didn't seem like, I'm not even sure exactly what the intention is, because I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, mine copper and tin. Like, I know that my character has mined copper and tin before, for sure. That's like, I'm sure of it. And yet it's still not activated. But I know that they had gone in and retroactively gave you credit for completing things that you had completed before. And some people were getting a little upset at this because they were kind of saving the last one of a tier in order to get the sleep bonus when their sleep bonus was used up. Okay, so some things were never tracked before the journals, and other things were. See, that makes perfect sense.
Like mining copper and tin.
Right. So I'm sure there were some things that were retroactively added. Like you got credit for doing some things because the system had tracked that you had done it before the journal entry system came into being. And some people were getting a little bit upset at the fact that their journal entries were automatically completed for them when they were kind of saving them for when they needed the sleep bonus. I know that was a thing.
Really?
Yeah.
That was a thing?
Yeah. I mean, I could kind of see where they're coming from in the sense that they're like strategically making a plan and they're going to complete all of these ones except for this one last one. They get, like, for example, open a wild hive. So they'll locate a wild hive and they say, okay, I got that wild hive there. I'm just not going to open it right now. Because if I open it right now, I'm going to get 2 hours of sleep bonus when my sleep bar is full. So I'm going to go over here and skill up a whole bunch and use all my sleep bonus up. And then I'm going to go activate that, whatever.
But they didn't even know that it existed yet.
No. This is after the journal entry system was in. So
But they later changed?
Yeah, later, then they changed it so that a whole bunch got activated automatically. I mean, I could kind of see how that, like, if you make that plan, you make a plan to try to get the most out of the rewards. And then it gets thwarted because of some, I'm not sure if it was a bug or, I'm not sure. I just know there were people upset. I personally, I wasn't really thinking about it, and we're always the type of people to run with full sleep bar bonuses, sleep bars.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought of that. So Amethyst, if that's how you say your name, you're on a Wurm break, but you're going to be back this month, you bet. If you come back, what would be the thing that draws you back? What would you be doing?
I see.
I'm perfectly fine with the whole journal thing.
Well, you're perfectly fine. I just know there's people out there who were not. But you say some of the ones based on old achievements hadn't transferred to the journal properly, so they should. Okay, I see. So it was like kind of like a bug, and so you push them to transfer to the new journal system, and that caused people's journal entries to become complete. When I heard it, I sympathize. Like I could see the argument. I can see why they were upset. I know it's like a small thing, but it's like the thing is it's just the thing with sleep bonus. It's the way the mechanic of sleep bonus works, and it's the reason why like back in the day, whenever sleep bonus was awarded because the server was down for an extended period of time. And every time that happened, inevitably people would get upset because their sleep bar was full.
Sleep bonus agitation.
Yeah.
Sounds like some people need a little more sleep.
But it's like exactly that same exact issue, basically.
Now, I feel like it's a small enough issue for us to, I don't know, brush off, move on, and think about exactly how we're going to implement this village update system.
It is true. People just get upset. Anything that changes or any things could get completely fixed, but there's always going to be somebody who's upset at it.
we're we're going to implement it by deleting all villages first, so so that you can then implement the new updated cooler system, right?
Ooh, 2 rare coins in a row. Awesome.
Nice.
I find that happens. You'll get a rare roll, and then another rare roll will come within the next little bit, and that seems to be a normal.
It's that rarity window.
There's got to be something about that rarity window mechanic that makes it a high probability of having 2 in a row within like 5 minutes of one another.
Yeah. Maybe
I feel
it's
like
just lots of random luck.
I feel like people looked at the code and it doesn't seem like there's anything like that in there. Random chance. It's random chance, but it happens 9 times out of 10, so at least for me.
Maybe it just happens very often.
So
'Cause
much
there's lots of random chances.
So much so that when do you remember that guy? What was his name? He made that forum post called "The Art of Rare," and it was his. It was his like little guide on how to make rare items.
Yeah.
And in that guide, one of his strategies was, and it was like based on the fact that because rare windows seem to happen like if you get one, then you're going to get another one really soon. So he would suggest that anytime that you got a rare window chance, like doing like a random act like farming or whatever, you should go over to your bin of stuff that you have prepared, ready to just combine like pickaxe heads with their shafts. Like that was one of his strategies that he would do all the time. Like he'd be like randomly mining or whatever, he'd get a rare roll and he would immediately run over to that BSB and start combining pickaxe heads because he noticed that rare rolls usually come, one after the other.
So you'd come back. So you want to be continuing this giant mansion castle of yours? It is sometimes hard to understand why we come back to a game like Wurm. Or why we all enjoy a game like Wurm.
Mm. Yeah. I also find that whenever I go to make something, it always ends up being like way bigger than I thought I was like at the beginning.
Yeah.
I think the labyrinth was like that.
Like the stables is like that.
I don't know. Yeah, it's possible that this is going to end up being like some humongous thing, but
Yeah, at least we know it's one tile wider than you thought it was going to be.
yeah, we'll see. Do we want it to have like 2 stories before the next like vaulted
2
ceilings?
stories and have the third story. Ooh. I mean, that would be quite a large building.
Take a lot of materials.
The question really is that you would have to ask yourself is what you want to do on those levels.
I am not sure.
What would be beneficial for you?
I have no idea.
Because if it's nothing, then maybe like you could have your vaulted ceiling, but maybe just make it a ceiling.
Okay, like make it just one building, one room.
Yeah, and you might be able to have like little pieces of a second floor. But I don't know if that's going to be mainly for looks or...
So, okay, maybe we could think about what kind of items would you need to run a stables?
Does anybody run a successful animal or horse stables? A place for maybe some extra horseshoes?
Thanks for those bits. Favorite worm crop? Huh. I'd say my favorite is gotta be... It's gotta be... actually, now that I think about it, what is it? It's gotta be cotton. Cotton's gotta be the best.
Listen, why cotton?
Well, you can use it to heal your wounds. You can use it to make a whole bunch of stuff. It's got to be the most useful crop.
I feel like... So I remember the days very vividly where all the crops looked exactly the same. And they announced that they had visual elements for these crops and they were coming soon. And the one that always struck me as looking really cool was corn. I always liked the look of corn, so I'd go with corn.
So you're going purely on the look of it.
Oh, for sure. You went completely in the direction of
functionality.
It's functionality.
Yep.
I wish corn was a little taller, because it's corn. If you go to a cornfield, it's quite tall. But other than that, the look of it was just struck me as the best at the time, and it still does. Does Wurm still frown upon macros? I believe that's a yes.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if there's any macros that would not be frowned upon.
So here's
in this game.
Here's what's okay. You are allowed to create a button that, in one button press, it sends multiple commands. Right? Like, for example, you can create a hotkey for improve and another hotkey for repair. So you can create a macro where you press a single button and it'll just send the key, like improve then repair, so long as the commands are being sent instantaneously one after the other. So what's frowned upon is any kind of programmed macro where there's delays, between them. Anything where you would automate sort of like a long-running sort of chain of events is frowned upon.
And Amy, you think that there's not really another game like Wurm that provides the same kind of feature set, I would say RPG elements, tools that Wurm gives you?
I'd agree with that.
And Wurm brings feels like a holiday. I think for a lot of us, Wurm feels like an escape. Like you're escaping into a good book or something, like some people do. But it's like a choose your own adventure book. It's like a mind massage.
My feeling on macros is that if they allowed macros, it would be game breaking. It would be totally game breaking. because
In what
people
way?
in the sense that people who genuinely play the game the way it was intended, like would be at a severe disadvantage compared to those who know how to make macros. And then what macros could do is quite literally play the game for you. So, let's say you had a vein that you need to mine out and it takes like 10,000 actions. You could literally set up some system where you would set it to go and you can leave it for a day and come back and the vein would be completely mined out and you'd have 10,000 shards or whatever. That in my opinion would be completely broken. And it would allow people to literally play the game without being there and to get ahead compared to other people who are playing the game sort of normally.
I think that's true in the sense that Wurm needs to foster gameplay that requires users to be present.
And I know that the developments of the game has sort of like headed towards that direction. Like in the change of the fishing system, right? That was one system where before the change you could pretty much not even look at your screen and fish all day. Whereas now you kind of have to be paying attention to the game, which is a good thing. It's a good thing, I think.
Yeah, and the feeling of accomplishment because it takes a while to do stuff. I also think that's true. We played games where it doesn't take very long to do stuff that's similar to Wurm, and it just couldn't get into it.
Right.
I mean, that's sort of the reason why we can't. It's tough for us to play Wurm Unlimited, but not the only reason.
Right.
In the sense that, Wurm, you could have a server that does just as long as Wurm Online, but then you got the whole debate about the official servers and stuff.
There are some servers that have been around since the beginning of Wurm Unlimited.
Yeah, and saying that, shout out to Valiance's server.
Yep. His server's been open for a long time.
We were gonna go play a server on Wurm Unlimited. I'd go on his server.
Yeah. I did play on his server for quite a while.
Wait, you're back in Wurm right now?
Nice.
Or just your mindset now. Your mindset is like, you know what? You know how you just know? Like, you watch something or you listen to something or something in your mind clicks and you go, yeah, okay, I got that Wurm itch again. And then you're just, even though you didn't go into the game, you know that you will, that you're back.
Yep. Valiance's server is quite hardcore, and I would venture to say that like he has it set to 1-time speed and 1-time skill gain. But the way that the skill gain is, I really feel like it's legitimately slower than Wurm Online.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it feels a lot slower.
How so?
I don't know. It's like it starts out feeling about the same, but then as you progress, it's like the skill ticks are just super tiny. And it's the system's kind of different in that with every success, you get a skill tick. Right? So like
Right.
it doesn't run on the same system as Wurm Online. Like you get skill ticks as long as you're succeeding and not getting the 1.0, like if I mine and get a 1.0, you're not going to get a skill tick, but anything above that you will. Although there was something that like once you got to like about skill 20 or something, like your skill got to about 20, something happened in it made it so you weren't getting skill ticks all the time, and the skill ticks were so tiny, and I can't remember exactly how it worked. I didn't play long enough to sort of get into the details of the skilling up there, but it just felt like the skill ticks were so tiny, so it was going up super slow. Right. So to get your blacksmithing up or whatever, you would just spam. So I did that. I was trying to get my my blacksmithing up, and so I was just making, I can't remember what it was, but something like nails or something. But it wasn't going up fast at all. It just felt like I made 1,000 nails, and it was like, okay, I went from 20 to 22 blacksmithing or something like that. It just felt like super ridiculous slow. Wow, it looks like you got a whole bunch of glowing jars.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with those.
Where
And
did
I
you
got
get
them
them?
by digging.
By digging?
I don't know why I got 15 from just digging, and it wasn't even that big of an area.
You know, I had a similar experience with archaeology where one day I was doing archaeology and I got a whole bunch of the same kind of Valerie item doing archaeology. And then the next day, nothing. Not a single one.
So you're telling me I should have just kept going?
Right. Like, I almost feel like these things are time dependent. Like, where a certain day of the year, all of a sudden you get these, you know. Hey, Amethyst, thank you so much for that $1 pledge.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, so like these things come around and it's like all of a sudden you get a ton of them.
So it is something to do with the mission system.
Okay.
I'm guessing that they needed them at this time.
Mission base. I think once you catch it, you just watch. Yeah, I don't think there's anything you can do to increase the chance of reeling it in. Whoops.
I guess we should be sacrificing it. However,
Yeah,
we
the
don't
sacrificing.
have.
We do have. I have an altar now.
We do.
It's just a Najo altar, so you're gonna have to make your own altar for Vin. So how's your inventory looking these days? Is it still all tidy and neat?
You can't see my inventory, right?
No.
Yeah, it used to be. So yeah, it's
very
extremely tidy. It's like I just can't believe how tidy I've been and organized.
Right.
You know, I got stuff in my inventory, but I know where it is now
Right.
and stuff.
Yeah. I'm sure it's just all over the
In
place.
saying that, I forgot I should give you this huge axe. So I'm going to put it in your cart.
Ah, that makes sense, Linux. So a mission will begin, and it would say foe demands you to sacrifice 36 glowing jars, and so all of a sudden glowing jars become something that you can get. Interesting.
Can you use any altar? I don't believe so.
I think you need to use the altar of the deity that you worship. Although this raises a really interesting question that I've had before in the past. How do you know what deity you follow?
And the answer is
Right, like if I completely forget.
I'm waiting for you.
I have no idea. I don't know the answer to that question. So if you completely forget the deity that you follow, what do you do to find out? So the faithful button doesn't work because it just says you will try to obey your
Could
God's
be
wishes.
unfaithful, they will tell you.
Right, but it doesn't say the
Yeah.
deity.
Well, without being unfaithful.
Like if you're unfaithful and you do something that makes your god lose you, reduce your faith, I think it will say something like Najo noticed you. Yeah. Okay, so pray on a rock. Okay. I can see that. So each deity has a different thing that you can pray to. Like Vin, you can pray to water, a water tile. Foe, you pray on a tree tile, and Mag, you pray on a rock tile.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't like the try to do something like I don't mind losing faith on this character, but if I was a priest, I guess if you were a priest, you would know. Yeah.
Yes.
So I just wish there was like sort of something. Okay, so if you're praying on water, then that means that you are following Vin. Or it could be one of the other Vin... What are they calling them now? Demigods?
Demigods.
Like Palwir, I think, is a Vin demigod. Yeah, I would agree with like adding it to the examine itself. Like, so examine. Right now, it just says he is very strong and has a good reserve of fat. You are of the Freedom Isles. You know what? You used to say something about. You know how we went over to Epic?
Yeah.
I remember examining. Used to say something here regarding that, but it's not saying it anymore.
Huh. How about if you examine somebody else?
Let's examine you. Ah, yes. He seems to have blood from Mulrehan.
I think that's anybody.
No, that's anybody who went
To Epic.
to
that's what you're
Epic.
saying.
Yeah.
Or not to Epic, to Is that what happened when we went to Epic?
Yeah.
I think that is, yeah. And it looks like we're almost getting to the end, so that's
Yeah.
good.
I'm just realizing how much more materials I'm going to need, because if I want to make these look really nice, I'm going to have to put inner walls.
Inner walls, or you wanting to do just fences?
If I do, I could do just fences, and that would just make the amount of materials low, but it won't look as nice.
Well, think of it this way. We started with nothing
Right.
today, right? And we managed to get enough wooden beams, enough mixed grass, and enough clay, thanks to some help, and build this place without our high quality tools.
Yeah. Yeah. We got, yeah, getting the materials, yeah, it wouldn't be that bad. Totally. I think I kind of want to spend the time and effort to make it look good.
All right. So we'll spend the time and effort to make it look good.
Can I examine you to see what god you follow? I don't think so. It doesn't say. Yeah, it does tell you what. It says, he bears the mark of a knight of Witchwood Vale, which was the title I gave you.
Which is a cool title.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we went through all of that we managed to finish the bottom building. We actually managed. I think it's the first time in a while where we said we want to do this, and we actually did it.
Yeah.
So that is a nice change. Let's take a look.
And this is our very first building.
It's our very first building, Griffith's Estate, which I'm sure you'll give some cool name. Our stables have a complete outer perimeter wall. Oop.
I'll move this
What are you
over
doing
here.
with that?
I'm just gonna get it out of the way. I can't place the item that far away.
Yeah, you have to be next to it. There it goes.
There we go.
Nice. It's a big, I mean, it's a big stables.
Yep.
It's going to be much bigger than what I have envisioned for my
For your cow stables.
cow stables, cow pen.
Maybe we should do cows and sheep together.
Yeah, maybe, but
Because they're kind of the
I think-
same.
I
And then-
feel like you're going to be doing the sheep. No?
Yeah, but I'll also be breeding the cows too.
That's true. Where are you wanting to put this? We'll figure something out.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out where. And Reganation, welcome.
Yeah. Hey, Reganation, and thanks, Alan Key.
Yeah, for the sub.
But we're just about getting to the end of the stream.
Mm-hmm.
We set out to build our stables with no material, got the material, and
Yeah.
built the bottom level of this surprisingly giant
I know.
stable house.
I knew it was gonna be like bigger than I wanted it to be, but that's just sort of.
I'm just
How
like
it is.
looking at it from the top and thinking, holy Christ, what did we do?
I know. I know.
Just like, why? This is
I
like
was
bigger
thinking-
than the house.
I was
The barn
thinking
that we
the
made in,
same thing. I was thinking the same thing when I was planning out this space, and I'm like, in order to get the amount of animals I want in there, like it has to be humongous. Just couldn't think of a way to get it smaller than that.
I think I want it to be smaller for the leatherworking building.
Right, but then you got to think, how many cows do you want, right?
Well, I think if we have any overabundance of cows, we would basically just be, getting
Killing
the
them.
leather
Sure.
from them.
Sure, but let's say you have even just 5 pairs of cows, and every week they each make an offspring, and then you need a place to put those babies so that they grow bigger, right?
That's true.
Right, so you'll need 5 pens plus another place, and it just becomes like all of a sudden you'll need a basically the same size building.
Oh, God, I hope not.
Either that or you
well.
build an outdoor fenced off area.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe it could be a combination of both.
Right. Where you have your leatherworking house, and then outside the house is like sort of like
Some pens?
pens, yeah.
Yeah. Or even if there's like some indoor breeding pens and then outdoor area where you put the offsprings.
Right. You could do something like that.
Yeah. Either way, that's a future us problem and not a tonight us problem. So
Right.
I think we're pretty much done with what we have to do. Thank you everyone for joining us.
Just a couple of things I want
watching
to
us.
say, like the
Yeah.
unfortunate part about streaming on Sunday, which is like it just sort of happens, is that we have to work the next day, so we have to cut it short. But I wanted to say, I've started using Twitter in order to make announcements such as when we're going to be streaming, and like because we're so last minute, in terms of when we decide, like, I figured, like, if we had a way to just announce to everybody, so if you want those announcements, if you want those updates, then follow us on Twitter. We are at Factional B. I've also placed the link down below on our Twitch page, but it's at Factional B, and you can follow us and get the updates about when we're going to be going live and that sort of stuff.
And more, I'm assuming.
And more. I'm doing updates from the car almost weekly, and so I'll post that there too. So yeah, follow us on Twitter and get those sort of updates.
Anyway, yes, I do believe that there'll be lots of cows butchered in the future, just for the idea of getting my leather working a little bit better. Anyway, that's something that we can talk about in the future, that whole pen. But thank you everyone for joining us. Yeah, go to Twitter. There is the link there. Oh yeah, I see it now. Click it. Adam will be posting lots of cool stuff. Thank you everyone for joining us, and we'll see you in Wurm or in the next episode. Take care, everyone.